Welcome back now. With 80% of smartphone users admitting they check their phone first thing in the morning, the average user logging over 2 hours a day on social media. Good luck. Concerns are growing that the effects of technology on our nation's mental health.
So it's no surprise our next guest has described social media addiction as the crack cocaine of the digital age. And here to explain is digital educator with Smart Global, Niamh McElhatton. Good morning to you, Niamh.
Morning, guys. How are you?
The crack cocaine of the modern age. Are we totally obsessed with our phone and social media?
Well, I think we kind of are. You only have to look around the room to see everybody's on their phone or... You know, you even see people now looking at their phone when they're crossing the road and getting knocked down. You know, common sense prevails. Do you know what I mean?
And you were telling us before we come on air how it came to your attention, how this whole thing came into your life, and it was a story about one of your kids. Tell us.
So I am a self-confessed addict. So that's my disclaimer at the start, and this is how it all started. I did a TED Talk in November last year, and it was about being virtually connected and socially disconnected. And my daughter drew a picture of me taking our dog for a walk. And it had like this little black poop bag in the hand. And I said, God, Eilish, that's really good attention to detail. I says, poop bag. And she says, Mummy, that's not a poop bag, that's your phone. And I was like, oh, really? And then we played charades. And Eilish, my youngest, started going like this. And Aoife Lily, my eldest, went, being Mummy. And I was like, oh my God. So this was a sign of the times that they were just thinking like, Mummy, it's on the phone too much. That was my own journey of self-awareness.
Well, is there genuine concern about it in terms of Ireland? Let's talk about.
Not even globally. I started to do some research then when this happened, obviously, and I delved in, and back in 2010 there was a girl, I don't know if you remember the story, she lost her temper with her baby crying when she was trying to play Farmville on Facebook, and the baby died.
Yes, I do
you remember that?
Yes.
Then there was another incident in Seoul, but this is the problem. There was another incident in Seoul where a couple got so addicted to this online game called Prius, raising a little online child, that their own little baby girl died as a consequence because it was left at home, not looked after. This is a true story. So when people stand up and they'll debate with me, oh, there's no proof, there's no real research to prove that this is actually a problem. When you look at teenagers now, right, body dysmorphia, eating disorders, social anxiety, these kids nowadays, they perceive their life, their real life, but it's carved by a virtual audience. So the lines are so blurred now, and kids don't really have a chance to understand the difference between reality and the online world.
People have talked about it as well. I remember we had someone on before, and we were talking about that it's like a jackpot syndrome, that it's this need of wanting to pick up your phone and going, how many people like that photograph?
But it's this constant need for admiration. And if you look at, teenagers on Instagram, for example, it's almost sycophantic how sweet they are towards each other. But does that play out in real life? It's almost like there's this beautiful, friendly world. And I'm the first to log on to Instagram, and I think it's lovely and very helpful. But it can be kind of provide an unrealistic expectation of your own family then, when you're not flooded with compliments or praise.
And it's that there's a massive narcissism now, and it's that instant need for gratification, and it's that dopamine release when somebody likes a post or when somebody comments, oh, you look lovely. It's like, woo, and it's that thing. But when you look at all the algorithms of social media channels and so on now, they're the same algorithms that gambling sites use to keep you hooked on there. So listen, whilst I'm a massive fan for it, I've built my business on driving businesses online. I think
but
for us...
But that's through necessity, Niamh. You have to be a social media guru, even if you're just a one-man band. I know that as a self-employed person. And you know that because you run your own business. You have to be on all the social media channels.
Well, especially in our line of business, because it is digital. But I think for me, as a mother of two beautiful girls, it's about the awareness. It's about right focus.
So it's about being more mindful. Some of the symptoms, we talked about looking at your phone, neglecting face-to-face relationships. So maybe being at home with the family, but your head is stuck in the phone.
Absolutely, and I'm guilty of that. I've seen myself...
I think we're all guilty of that.
Of course we are. Whether you say or not, we are.
And Aoife Lily would say, Mummy, you're not even listening. You know?
That's it,
Yes.
So it's like, you're not even listening. I'm like, sorry, darling, the phone is down, you've got my full attention.
Yes.
And I think, you know, I can only speak from my own experiences and research that I've followed up with. But I think if we don't have that awareness to put the phone down, to be with our loved ones, like there's nothing worse when you go out for dinner and you look around and everybody is on their phone, the kids are on their iPads. It's pathetic. But we're doing this to ourselves.
But we need to ration it, don't we? I mean, one of the country's most prominent entrepreneurs, Marissa Carter, who drives her business through social media and has done incredibly creative things with social media, is one of those people who just turns the phone off as soon as she goes home from work.
Brilliant.
And, do you think we should all be doing that?
I think that would be lovely if we could.
Or some variation
Is that realistic?
of it.
Turn off points at sometimes. Like at the weekend, I leave my phone down. Now, I have to say, I've told a little Instagram story on my journey here this morning. I've been up from 6:15 and all the way. But, you know, that's for fun and everything else. That's not me being with my kids, or that's a brilliant...
That's work.
It's work. I heard a brilliant quote the other day and I thought this was fabulous. It's just to be where your feet are.
Yes.
And I thought, you know, to engage with conversation with your parents, with your kids, with your friends. When I go to my mum's now, my phone stays in the car because my mum just gives out to me all the time saying, are you here to see me? Or are you here to
look at
the
your
phone? You know?
There's a great ad that's currently running on TV. I don't know what it's for, but it's a kind of a monkey see, monkey do kind of ad where the dad's sitting on the couch eating a packet of crisps and the kid's eating crisps. And the dad looks at it and goes, actually, we'll go, and he goes and gets a bit of fruit, and therefore the kid. So we're training our kids at home. They're watching you doing it.
Absolutely.
This is the norm.
Yeah, and this is the problem. You see, my kids have actually taken a bit of a rebellion. It's kind of ironic. I'm very guarded with their online time. I don't really let them online, actually at all. And Netflix the odd time if it's raining outside, but I'd be a big advocate for getting out and playing and being children. And they wouldn't, not a hope, be spending any amount of time on an iPad in my presence, not a chance, because I just think the implications are just too much. I just think, you know, when you look at kids that are suffering from insomnia. Insomnia leads to tiredness. Tiredness leads to a lack of performance in school.
You get the other people saying, well, look, they're going to be using iPads when they get to 14 and 15 in school. They're going to be doing their exams eventually. They need to get used to the technology, how to use them. Of course they do, but you restrict it.
But it's everything in moderation.
Of course.
And that's what I'm trying to say. It's like, let's wake up, put the phones down, have a conversation without looking at your phone all the time.
And one of your tips, Niamh, was have a phone-free room or a technology-free room in the house.
I lectured...
Now, there's probably parents watching this morning going, well, they're never going to air it then.
It's called the garden.
In the bin and lock it.
Yeah.
There are boxes you can buy now where you can put your phones in and lock them, and you can't open it until that time has run out, and there's a specific amount of time until you can take the phone out. But isn't it sad that it's come to that we need a box to be able to set the phone down?
Away. Okay.
You know?
Well, look, if we've
Listen, we appreciate your time this morning.
Thank you.
I look forward to seeing the Instagram story later on. Thanks, Niamh.
No problem. Thank you.
Niamh will be speaking on the subject of social media addiction at the Tech Connect Live in association with Vodafone at RDS on Wednesday.
Correct.
This Wednesday. After the break, some bright summer looks on the catwalk. See you in a